Hi guys, this is an overview of a data entry form developed using Python, which is actually at the request of someone out there. So I just want to show you guys how this works. Okay, we can add another data. Like you see, we have some data in there of Mario, and we don't have Mario information here, so all we need to do is to click on add and display. And if we go right down here, then we should be able to see Mario's details there. Okay, that's Mario's details. Alright, and we can also reset and enter some more data. You see, as soon as I reset, new reference number is added, though the date still remains the same. Registration date, if you have to change that, then you just change it to whatever you want it to be. Okay, let's assume that's my registration date. So for this next member, let's say its name is Kingsley Wymo, right? And that's address of Wymo, telephone number, and using driving license as his proof of ID. Member type, annual member, fees to be paid there. All we then need to do is add Wymo's details, as you can see, and click on display. Now let's search for Wymo. So let's come in here and just scroll right down. There we go. That's Kingsley Wymo's details. So guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to call it the end of this brief overview, and you guys can always have a look at the complete tutorial on YouTube. Hello guys, and welcome to Python tutorial of a data entering system. This very system is at the request of this guy here. His name is Crosby Wells, and he would like me to create a data entering system that is similar to this one that I created in Excel using VBA, but he would like it to be in Python using Tkinter. So that's my reply to him. Let's get started. So I'm gonna exit out. Oh no, just close it. I don't want to save that. Right, the first thing I like to do is to import as follows. So we're gonna say import from Tkinter. From Tkinter, we would like to import all of the libraries. Then the next thing I'm going to import would be import Tkinter message box. Tkinter dot message box. There we go. And I will also import as follows. There. So now that I've imported all the libraries I intend to use, this is for Tkinter, all of the GUI system that I need. This is for the message box date, and this is for my combo box random number and time. So now let's start by creating our class. So I'm going to call my class data entry form there, and enter a semicolon there. Now I will then create a function or a method, if you like. So this function is going to be self, root. Then I will give my system a name, so I'm just going to call it set.root. Paste that in here. Make sure it's indented and change this to .root. There we go. And this self.root is going to be known as root. That's the name of my application. And self.root dot title So that is my title, and that's how you write a title. So I'm going to call it data entering form. Now let's define our geometry. So sep.root.geometry, and that is, I want to make the geometry approximately 1350. That would be the width, by, let's go for 800. That will be the height, plus 0 plus 0, and that is my coordinate. There we go. Now let's say sep.root.configure. So what I'm trying to achieve now is just to configure the back color or the background color. So I'm just gonna say background equals, I'm gonna set it for, let's say, Gainsborough. Yep, that is correct. There, I have my background in place, everything is in place. So before I go any further, I'm just going to round up the whole system. Let's come right down here and just close it. Let's say if name, okay, column equals main column, semicolon. Yep. Then we just say root equals tk, enter parenthesis. Now I'm going to say my application equals, look at the name of my application, so I'm just going to copy that, equals data entering form, and that is going to be a system in root. That's in root. Dot main loop. So the whole idea of this loop is for the system to go around there. So that is it. So I'm going to save it now. Let's save it so that we'll get that out of the way. So save it right inside this folder, or let's just say data entering form. There we go. Save. There. I'm going to just run it and let's see how the frame looks like. So we're missing out a column there, and let's try it out again. Let's come up here, let's run. There we go, and that is the frame there. Okay, there. I'm going to close that. So what I'm going to do now is I will create I'm going to call that main frame. Okay, this main frame is going to be using widget frame, and widget frame is right inside root. So I'm going to copy sep.root, just paste that in there, and comma, I'm going to enter a border. So I'll make the size of the border approximately 10, and the width is going to be, let's make it 1350. Yeah, that's all right. And I'll make the height, I'll make that approximately 700, comma, then bg, make the background color. I already have this background color already, so I really don't need another background color, so I'm going to just exit that, and let's relieve it. I'm going to make that rigid there, and that is it. So come right down here and just run this up. So paste that and say dot grid, enter semicolon. So that's my frame created. So inside this very frame, I'm going to create 3 other frames. So let's copy it. That's according to how my Excel one looks like. So copy all of these and just, and this is now going to be known as, let's just call it top 1, top 2, and so on, top 1. Okay, and this is going to be top 2. The next one will be top number 2. There we go. And this one as well. Okay, this will be 3, and this is 2, and 2, and this is 1. So I've created the inner frames. Now the inner frames, I'm going to change the size of these to 1340, 40, and 40 here as well. So the other thing we need to do is I now need to change how it's all going to look like. So before I can do that, I'm going to specify where each of these will be. So the top frame will be inside there, and this will be inside main frame as well. There we go. And right here you see the height. I'm going to change this to about 200, and I'll change this to let's make this one 50, and the bottom one I'm going to make that 300. Okay, let me try it out. It should work this way. And there we go. You see that? 1, 2, and 3. That is for the widget entry and label, and this is going to be for button. While in here I will have my text widget here. So that's good. Now that I have all of these, I also want some inner, or I'm going to just call that inner top frames. The inner top frames, I would like them to be inside each of these. So I'm going to copy these. You really don't need the inner top frame, but that will make it look much better. That's why I am creating the inner top frame. So I'm just going to call that inner top frame. Inner top frame 1, and so on. So inner top frame 1 is going to be inside top frame 1, and this one will be top frame number 2, and top frame 3 there. And right here we just call this inner. Oh, one other thing is there's going to be some database involved in this as well. Okay, that is that done. Now we need to reduce this. The width will be 1330, 1330. Okay, I will reduce the height of this to 280. I'll reduce the height of this to, let's go for 48, and this one will be 190. Come right in here and change that to 190. Right. I think that's my top frame done. So I'm going to come back in here, just run it, and let's see how that's going to look like. Oh, it's not going to look that good. I think the inner top frame is too wide. So I'm going to reduce those to about 5. Let's come here. You see the border around it? I'm going to make it 5. 5, 5, 5. Now run and save and run. There we go. Look at that. That looks much better. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now let's add some widgets. Okay, right underneath here I'm going to start by entering my, let's add button. Let's start with the button. So let's say btn add, maybe add new, something like that. Button add new. The widget that we need is known as button. So this is how you create your own button using Tkinter. And this very button is going to be right inside inner frame number 2 there. So inner frame number 2, comma, I'm going to get it padded. Let's give it about y-axis padding will be 1, and border around it, let's make that around 4. Then the text on it, we don't really need this, but this is how you define your text. It's going to be black. Now the font equals, depend on whatever font you want, but I'm just going to search for Arial. That is my font, comma. The size of the font is going to be about 16, and I'm going to make that bold. There we go, comma. The next thing I want to do is to define the width. I'm going to make the width about 13, comma, and the height, you can just specify 1, or you can just leave out the height, and a default height will be there for you. Then the text on it, I'll just enter add new there. Okay, then let's close that and just round it up. I'm going to say dot grade is going to be right inside. The row is going to be row 0, and the column equals 0 as well. Close that. Okay, let's just say, yeah, let's get it packed. I should have packed it before. X-axis. So that's all there is to that one. I'm going to run it. If that works fine, then we just copy and paste. Now, oh, I missed out something. Okay, I copied, I actually cut it off. So that should be in our frame 2. Paste that in there and just change that to 2 and get it properly indented. Yeah, so let's try that again. We have an error. Let's see what's the error about. Oh, look at the spelling, wrong spelling. Okay, that's the right spelling. Let's copy that and just paste it right here. Okay, try that again. There we go, that's my button there. I need approximately 7 of those, so I'm just gonna copy, paste, and change the text content around. Copy. Okay, I have 7 in there, so we also need to get it indented. So I'm gonna get that indented and get back to you guys as soon as I'm done with that. Okay, those are all my buttons indented. Now I need to change the column. So this one, the first one is 0, so the next one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There. I haven't changed the name yet, but let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at all my buttons in place. What I just need to do now is to start changing the names around. So this one is going to be maybe search button, exit, and so on. So the last one here is my search button. Change that to search. And the text content on it is right here. Change that to search. This one is going to be exit. And in here we change this to exit. And so on, guys. But I'm going to run it to see how these 2 changes made look like. There we go. Okay, I'm now going to speed up the other buttons. Okay, all my buttons are taken care of. Let's just add a bit of space so that you guys can see the different buttons. There we go. I will now run it. There. all the buttons are in place now. Okay, we need some widgets here and here as well. Alright. Okay, the next thing I would like to do now is I'm going to create, I think I should do that first. Here I'm going to enter I'll enter a text right here, and there should be a label that will display the headings. So let's come right down here. I'm going to have to break this up so that it doesn't confuse anyone out there. Okay, in here will be the label and the text widget. Okay, let's start with the label first. That's for the label. Okay, in here I'm going to call that let's just call it self dot label LBL, maybe label or whatever. Yeah, label equals widget label, and widget label itself is going to be right inside inner top frame 3, right, comma, and the font, let's copy font, paste it in here. Font, we can make that about 10. 16 will be too big. Okay, we get it padded as well. Let's come down here, get it padded, we make that about 6. And what else? Y-axis, padding for y-axis, I'm going to make that about 10. Get rid of this. What else do I need to do? What about the text content on it? The text content on it, I need about 10 of those to be displayed. Okay, I'll start by saying text equals, enter a quote. The first one is going to be known as reference, and that is reference number. Okay, and reference, after the reference number, I would like it to have a tab, then surname. Let's go for first name first. That will be first name. Okay, this is how you write your tab. This tab would not be displayed. Okay, so that's fine. Another tab, that is going to be surname, and I'm gonna get it tabbed twice, 1, 2. Yeah, then that's gonna be address. After address, maybe telephone number, and so on. So get that tabbed again. Right, close this, close that, and let's start another one right underneath here, so that there will be enough room. So this is going to be registration number or registration date. Okay, I presume you guys get the whole idea, so I'm going to speed that up. I only have about 4 more to enter. Alright, that is how it looks. So all I just need to do now is to run that up. So come right down here, dot. So I need to enter my grid, and that will be, let's copy all of this, dot grid, and that's going to be column 0, row 0, column 0. Get rid of this, and I'm just going to make it span, column span. Let me go for about 17. I can always change that. Yeah, that is that done. Right, so run and see how that looks like. We have an error. Let's go back in there. What did I do wrong? Oh, maybe wrong spelling. There's an N missing here. There we go. Try it again. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Now we need to create our. Oh, let's see. This seems to be too. It's kind of like overlapping. Okay, I will have a look. I think maybe 1 or 2 tabs need to be deleted. Okay, no problem. So let's come back in here, and right underneath it, I'm going to now create a scroll bar. So with a scroll bar, we're going to get widget scroll bar. So that's a scroll bar equals scroll bar, and this widget scroll bar is going to be right inside this very one here. Copy, paste, and right there, guys, I just had to speed this up because of time. Okay, now I'm going to take care of this. So this is the scroll bar that would be to the right, and right here that is my list box. Okay, so I'm going to run it to see how that looks like. That's how it's looking now. I now have my text widget here with their headings, but I do need to adjust this. So come right down and just see this space that I have in here. I'm going to just get rid of those space. I think those are adding to the data itself, so I'm going to just do that. Okay, yeah, as well. So there shouldn't be space, I believe. So let's run it and see how that's going to look like. There we go, just like I said. Look at it, it now looks much better. So here I have my list box, my title bar created using a label, buttons that do nothing for now. So we just need some other text widget up here. And before we start to work with the database, so what we want to do now is to add some widget up here. Okay, so exit out and let's come right down here. Okay, that will be good. That's in right here. And I'm going to, the first thing I like to do is, let's say self dot label, or let's call that LBL reference. LBL reference itself equals a label, and this label will be inside inner top frame 1. There. So, comma, I'm going to add font. Okay, well, I'll change the size of this font to about 12. And what else do I add? Okay, let me add text on it, and this text, I'm just going to call this text reference, and this my text, make sure it's inside a speech mark. There we go, and that's going to be reference number. That's okay. Enter another comma there. Now border, do I need a border for it? Let's just put a border for now. We can always change things around if we don't want that. Just get rid of it if I don't want it. And I will have a problem with the background because I've already changed the background to Gainsborough, so I might as well just change this my background to Gainsborough here. I'm just going to copy all of these, come right down here, paste that there. Let's shorten it to BG. There we go, and there. I'm going to close that up, come right down here, and let's run this up. And this is going to be inside grid. That's going to be row 0, and the column is going to be column equals 0 as well. So that's the first one taken care of. Now I'm going to create another one. This is just a label. If you guys want to see this label, we'll run it and you see the label. And there we go. That's the label right there. Okay, let's close that. Now I'm going to create another one. I'll call it self.txt. That would be the text box that will be right in front of the label. So equals, it's called widget, text widgets, and this text widget we have will be inside right there. Copy all of this, paste it here, there, and make the border for that. Okay, let's make the border about 5. Change that to 5. Now I'm going to settle for a width of let's go for about 32, and let's justify it as well. Justify, maybe we'll go for left. Yeah, left, that's fine. Justify left. Okay, I'll just round that up. So I'm going to copy all of this, paste it right underneath here, and let's change this to txt. Why the column? Since the first column is 0, this one will be column 1 there. So I'm going to run it. Let's come in here, run, and see how that looks like. There we go. Okay, that's good. Close that. I'll just copy all of this now. All you guys need to do is just change things around. That is 2. Okay, I'm gonna need about 3 here. Let's say 3 here. Then the arrangement, so that the arrangement will be in order. Alright, this one will be, let's change this one to first name. So that's first name here. There we go. Another first name, and so on. And this one is going to be surname. Repeat exactly the same thing here, and change this to surname as well. Now the next thing we want to do is, if you notice, this one is column 0 and this is 1, so this is going to be, and this is row 0, so we want this to be on the second row, so that will be 1, 1. This one will be 2 and 2 there. So if I run it now, this is what you guys will see. What is the error? Okay, this is the error here. If you guys can notice, look at the first name. There's supposed to be a quote there. That is it. So let's run it again and see. There we go. Alright, you see the background, and that background, we need to take care of that background. Let's come right down here, and maybe I may have to delete this background. Let's delete it for now and just see it. I'm sure that's the problem I have in there. So change that again, run it, and let's see. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't need the background there because I already have a background. I did not define the background for that. Alright, so let's make use of the default background. So that is fine. Now we need another one here that is going to be on this side, and there's going to be 2 on this side really. So let's close that. So I'm just going to copy this 3, copy, and paste it right underneath there. I'm going, since I need 3 of those, paste there. So the changes that will take place now would be just the columns and changing of the names. So the first one here is going to be, let's come in here, we have 3, the first 3, that's the first 3, I don't need them, these very ones. Those ones are fine, but the ones underneath are not. So this is going to be row 0, yeah, and this one will be 2. This one will be 3 and row 0 as well. The next one is going to be 1, that will be 2 and 3. Why this one will be 2 and 3 as well. Yeah. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, that's fine. And in that case, this one is going to be 0, 4. That's 4, 5. Then this will be 1, 4, 5. And the next one here is going to be 2, 4, 5. There. Okay, you guys take a good look at those. So when I run it, this is what you will see before I change the names around. Run. Oh, get rid of that 0. Wow, let's run it again. There we go, look at that. That's nice. Okay, now I'm going to need one underneath here. The one that I need underneath here will be for the address, and I would like the address to span all the way from here to here. Why here? I will have a search box in here, so close that and come right down here underneath here. I'm just going to copy one, I'll call it address, copy, then I'll start changing the names around. No, I need to copy all of this. Copy, come right down here, paste. So let me differentiate this address first. I'll just call it address before we start work on the different names. Yeah, that's quite easy. So you guys just follow this method. I know a lot of people like to arrange it in a different way, but I just feel it's easier for me this way. I don't want to go about, if you know what I mean, I'm talking about something like this. I just don't have the time for that. So that's the right way to do it, but I just choose to do it this way because I have enough room to work. Okay, now address is taken care of. With the address is going to be on row 3. So that's 3, and this one will be 3 as well. No, yeah, it's 3. Okay, that's fine. It's 3. And the search, let's copy one here. I'm going to paste one here. I'll call it search. Come right down. This is my search engine. And this one we have the following. Let's just call it txt search. Right there. And with this txt search is going to be row number 3 as well. But in this case, it's going to be 4 and 5. That is fine. The width, I'm going to make the width about 33. Now let's come in here. Address. You see with the address, look at it. This entering widget, I'm going to make that. Take note of what I'm about to do. Column span equals, I'm going to make that 3. There. Now let's look at the width. The width of that, I'm going to make it about 83. There. Let's make this one 33 as well. And this is going to be 33. Yeah, 33 as well. think there's one more. Yeah, there's one more here. This will be 33. I will leave the rest as 32. So let's run it before I change the names around for the other widget. Okay. Alright. I just need to enter the address properly. Let's come right down. Let's see the address now. What did I do wrong? On the address, this should be, oh, the column is 0, and this column is going to be 1 here because it's on frame, it's on row 3. Yeah, that was the error. So let's run it again. There we go. Look at the address. See, there's that small changes to care of that. Right. And if you notice, I think this is a bit too long, so maybe I just have to reduce it a little bit. Yeah, let's reduce it. Instead of 83, I'm going to make it 81 or 82. Let's see, 82. And we take it from there. Okay, 82 is not bad. Right, now let's change the rest names around. So the next one is let's change all of these names. Close that. And you guys, I believe you know what to do now, since you know the main thing is to know how to create the widgets, which I've already shown you guys. So all we just need to do now is change the names. So this one is going to be known as telephone. So I'm going to copy that and just use it to change that around. Telephone. You can always ring the telephone, but when you ring the telephone, just keep watching your phone bill. There we go. There. So telephone is taken care of. This one, I'm going to call this very one rigid body. No, it's not rigid body, sorry. I'm talking about games. Oh, it's going to be called registration. Registration date. Okay, that's long. I may have to change this back to 83. Okay, registration date. So here will be reg date. Okay, copy all of this, paste it in here, there, and let's move this here. Registration date. Okay, now the last one, I'm going to call that proof of ID. And we have proof of ID here. Change this to lowercase. Yeah. You see my address here, this very one. I'm going to change the width back to 83 because of the length of this character. Registration date. Okay. So I've taken care of all of these. So I'm going to have to speed up this one, but before then, let me run it. You see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at that. Okay. You see, this will be 83. So that's fine. See, all of this is done. I just need to take care of this 1, 2, and 3. You guys know what to do now. So that shouldn't be much of a problem. So we have 1, 2, and 3. This one will be date. And that is the date, today's date, not the date, not the registration date. So this is just date. So guys, that's what I'm about to do now, just taking care of all of this. I'm going to speed up everything now. Yeah guys, all taken care of now. Those are the lines of codes. So I'm going to run it and you see what I'm talking about. There we go. Look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful artwork. So all we need to do now is to get all of these buttons. We need to get them to do something for us. So end this as well. So widget, everything is in place now. So let's scroll right up here. Now right underneath my frames, I'm going to declare some variable, or maybe declare them right underneath here. Yeah, so let's declare those variables here. Now the first variable, I'm going to call it reg date. Registration date equals, it's going to be string character. Okay, a string. And the next one is going to be, I'm just going to call that today's date. Date today. There, it's a string as well. Then let's go for rate number. Rate number, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use a random function for that. There we go, taken care of. Now you see, for the date, those are taken care of. Let's do this. Let's take care of surname, first name, and so on as well. No, first name first. Surname. Okay, what is address? Now, what else do I have here? Let's run it and see what else I have. Okay, I've done this. Telephone number, we have that in here. Reg date, okay. Alright, let's come right down here and just do that. So we have telephone number next. Right. We have, I already have my registration date, so proof of ID, proof. Yeah, proof is enough. Okay, now we want date. I think they said today. Okay, date, day. Member type. Then we have member fees. There we go. So those are my variables. I think they're 10 in total. Yeah, that's fine. Now I'm going to take care of something quick. Let's take care of the random number and date. So I'm going to use these two. Grab these two. And the random number as well. I need that as well. So I'm just going to copy that. Okay. Let's assume I have all my variables right underneath my initialization. Okay. And right underneath here, frames, I'm going to add my functions. So the first one is going to be for the date. So I'm going to say, let's say dot set. And that is going to be for the date method. Time dot string time, and I want it to be in quote %d slash %m for the month slash %y for the year, and we'll close that up. Double quotes. Yeah, that's taken care of. I'm just going to copy that. Copy everything there. Paste it here for the day. Okay. I'm using date here as well, but we can always change this. Okay, now for the random function, let's declare x as variable. Local variable x equals, so we need to now initialize the x with random dot rand int, so it's going to be all integer, and I would like it to start from maybe 102, let's say 22,000 plus. Yeah, that's fine. So that's my random number will start from between 100 and 22,399, as the random numbers. So now create another local variable. So I'm going to call that random reference, randf. Come in here, paste that in there. Rand ref equals, convert the whole lot to string value. So, and what are we converting? We're converting the data that we have in X, this one, and that's this. We now assign it right in here. So let's copy this, come right in here, let's say dot, paste that, and random reference is now assigned to my variable reference. Now 1, 2, and 3, I need to assign them to their various widgets. So let's come right down here. We need reference, that is reference. So right here I'm going to say comma text variable equals that. So the first one is taken care of. So the next one is reg dates. Let's look for registration dates. This very one here is going to be right in here. Registration date is known as reg dates. So I don't want to make any mistake here. Copy that. Copy, come right down and say equals. Let me press enter here so that you guys can see it. Equals that. Now the next one is just the dates. So let's copy everything here. Come right down here. I'm going to put comma, press enter so that you can see it as well. And the date is that. Set the date. So that's for the date function. Let's see. There we go. Now let's run that and see how that's going to look like. We have an error. Okay, I have a choice. Delete one of those. Okay, let's see. And there we go. A random number selected for us. You see this question mark here. We need to correct that. That's not meant to be a question mark. Alright. So let's go back to the date. Where is the date? Oh, look. Question mark. Change it to forward slash. There. So that's taken care of. Right. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to take care of let's take care of these two resets. Those ones are easy enough. So with the resets, let's start by creating our reset function. Let's say we just call that reset. So the first one is going to be let's go for, I might as well just call all of this, paste that in there, paste, and that is going to be dot delete, and what am I deleting is going to be 0, end. There. Oh, this one would be txt actually. Txt. Right. Yeah, I need to delete whatever I have in there and refresh it. So that is for that, and the next one is first name. Copy save the first name, paste that in there. Surname, repeat the same thing, and just copy this and paste it in there. Yeah, I will also need this. Let's grab all of this. Copy that, is just for my resets. Paste that. Get them indented back. Right. And let's see. This is not finished yet, so you guys know what to do with the reset. Now telephone. Grab the telephone number. Paste that here. Grab this. Paste that. And if I go right down here now, I need to add the others, so let me speed that up. Right there guys, those are my reset function, all taken care of. Okay, I can only reset one or two things in there. that I believe I've assigned variables to. Okay, I've assigned variable here, so for the that's the reset anyway. So let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. Okay, that's the reset, but there's nothing happening with this, so I'm going to have to add my reset function there so that we can, at least you guys will see the reset works. So let's come right into the button reset, copy that, and just use command equals reset. That's button reset there. Okay, right in here, I'm just going to say command equals reset, enter a comma there. So that's resets taken care of. However, I only have one. Let's drop this down so that you can see that. I only have 1, 2, and 3. So first name. So let's take care of first name. Come in here, copy that. First name. Paste that. Press enter here, and change this to first name. So that's the variable for first name. Surname. Surname. Repeat the same thing. There. That's surname there. So I'm going to run that, and you guys see that the reset is working. Okay, just enter whatever name in there. Yeah, Tony Montana. Let's put Montana here. Right, click on reset. There we go. You see the reset is working. But I expect the reset to generate random number for me there as well. Okay, so I think there's an error there. So let's see what the error is. Look at that. It's actually giving me, presume you guys can see that I've made a mistake in there. I entered txt there. So let's go back into my reg dates. Txt reg date reg, that is wrong. It's meant to be called txt registration date. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, the right name for the widget is now in place, registration date, and I've also corrected this to member type. The other things that I've added now for you guys is, let's come right down here. Every single component now has their own variables. Okay, this variable is named according to the widget name. Look at this. So that is registration date, proof of ID. And in here, the variable name is date today. Member type, member fees. And if we come right down here, we have address. For address, the only one that has no variable is the search engine. So let's run the program and you guys see what I'm talking about. There we go. So we just have to make sure this works, and once it works, there. So let's click on reset. There we go. So let's take care of exit. Okay, right underneath here, close that. Right underneath here, I'm going to enter my exit. Yeah, right underneath this. Come right down here and just press enter. Okay, and let's start by defining my exit. So I'm going to call it I exit. Enter parenthesis and column. Then I exit, I'm going to say I exit, which is the name of my method there, equals tk inner dot. Once you hit on dots, there should be this dialog that pops up, message box, and this message box I'm going to say dot, the method I'm going to use, that would be ask yes or no. That is it right there. And all I just need to now do is to enter my argument. So this argument is going to be data entry form with database. Okay, that's the name of my system, so that will be the title that you will see on the message box. The second argument is just going to be confirm if you want to exit. That's the second argument, confirm if you want to exit. Close that. Now let's use an if statement to determine the selection made by the user, and that is going to be I exit. If it's greater than 0, enter a column there. Then we want it to be root.destroy. There, enter parentheses, and you can return as well. Return. There. That is the line of code for exit. If you notice, tick enter, message box, because I have a library for it here. That is it. And I also call destroy root. That's the name of my application. If your application is called data, then that would be data.destroy. Okay, so that is that taken care of. Now all I need to do now is to call this inside my button. So let's come to button exit here. That is exit, and here I'm just going to say, okay, let's put that here. Command equals exit. So copy that. I've already pasted that anyway. Paste that here. Command equals exit. Comma there, I mean. So I'm going to run it now. Run that, and let's make sure the exit works. Now enter some data in there, and let's reset. There, click on exit. Nope, I don't want to exit. Okay, look at the first argument, data entry form with database. Confirm if you, that should have been confirm if you want to exit. Okay, I'm going to say yes, I want to exit. So let's go back into that declaration and just, or that function, confirm if you want to exit. So that should take care of that. So run that again. Would you like to exit? Yes, I would like to exit. There. And what I'd like to do now is, you see this proof of ID, I would like a drop down there, combo box. I would like a combo box here and here as well. So I'm going to close that. I just need 3 combo box. Let's change those ones to combo box. Now let's go for the proof of address right here. That is the proof of address. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to change every details of this text box to CBO. Okay, and in here, instead of entering, I'm going to make that ttk dot combo box. Right, ttk dot combo box. Right, and that is the widget combo box. It's going to be right in here. That's fine. So font is fine. I'm going to leave that as 12. Okay, now let's come in here. We have all of that. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, the width, I don't know about the width yet. I will run it and see how that works. Now let's come in here. I'm going to get rid of this, and instead of that, okay, let's just close that for now. Come right down here. Oh, okay, let's move this there, the variable. If I paste the variable there, yeah, I can leave the variable there, that's fine. So let's come right down, and the next thing I'd like to do now is this very one again. Copy this, paste it right underneath here, and that is where I'm going to enter my value. So let's say it's going to be in form of an array value. There, you enter a square bracket equals as follows. So the very first value will be nothing. Enter a comma there. The second value is going to be, let's say, pilot license. There, close that and enter a comma again. Let's copy this. That's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. That will do. Now the next one, let me make that driving license. Driving license there, and student ID. Then finally, there's a passport. Yeah, passport. Okay, I think that will do, and I'll just close this off. Now the next thing is the current value. I'm going to select the 0 there, so let me just paste that in there. That will be my current value. And let's just change this before I forget. Right, the current value, that is going to be 0. So let's say dot current, and I'm just going to enter 0 in there. So the 0 current value is this very one here. Oh no, get rid of that. It's going to be this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in total that's 5. Okay, that's fine, and it's going to be the same row and right there. So I'm just going to run it and see how that looks like. Then I might have to copy it and use it to change the others around, but one thing, I may end up with error. Let's go up there and change the reset function, and before doing that I will use this as my reset, so I might as well copy it. Oh, this shouldn't be there, so delete that. Let's go right up there where we have the reset method, and that is it right here. So I'm just going to get rid of that and paste this there. So the current value should become 0. So let's run it and see how that's going to look like now. There we go, it's working fine. Okay, it's a bit too long though, so I'm going to reduce the size of that. So I've selected driver, and let's enter some data in there. Come right here, there, and reset. Boom, that's good, it's working. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to close that. That's good. So let's come right down. So that's easy. Now maybe I should reduce this to about 30, and there. So just copy it around for the others. Okay, 30 seems to be too small. Maybe 31. Leave 31 there for now. I'm going to copy this for the others. Copy, and I need my member type, this very one here. So I'm going to paste it right underneath, and the same thing we apply to this very one before we delete what we have to delete in there. Now let's go to the member type and just change the name to member type. Copy, and that becomes member type. Member type as well, and there we go. Now for the member type, I believe I do have a variable called member type. Now let's see the position of the member type. Look at the member type, we have it in row number 1, column 5, so change that as well. That's good. Now what else do we have to change in member type? I think that will be all, but we need to change this. Member type, annual member or quarterly member. Yep. Or let's go for monthly member, and finally weekly member. There. That's fine. So let's get rid of all of this. We don't need that anymore. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, now let's take care of member fees. change this to member fees, and in here member fees weekly would be about £2.89, and monthly would be about £12.50. Yep. Quarterly, that would be £37, and here annually will be 150. Yeah, that's that taken care of. Now let's look at this. Member is on row 2, and this is column is 5. Now what else do we need to change? We need to change the names. Change that. Then once this is done, then we'll start work with our database. There. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. We don't need that anymore. The combo box replace that. Now run. There we go, guys. We have all our combo box in place. Yeah, but the reset will not work for this. Yep, I know it will not work for that. So let's go and change the resets. Yep, that's it. Go right up here and just change the two of them to CBO. Okay, this one CBO as well. That's fine. Now run the program, and there we go. Yeah, reset. There we go. That's good. So that's working. Okay, now let's move on. You see here we need a variable, so let's we need to import a database, but right now I don't even have a database. So let me start, make sure this one is saved before we create a database. I'm going to create a new file, open new, and this very one I'm going to save it as, let's say save as it's still going to be database, let's say database, yeah, database entering form, or database form. That's fine, database form. That's just what I'm going to call it for this very one. Save. Yeah, that's my database form saved. On the database itself, I'm going to have to import the following. Import SQLite 3, and let's just enter a comment here. This is going to be my back end, right? And here this will be the front end. Okay, and we now want to import our system, the database. So the database itself is called database form. So database form, I believe that is the name. Okay, let's open it and see. Yeah, that's it. It's called database form. That is it right there. Okay, make sure you get the spelling right, else there'll be a problem. Okay, with the database, let's start work with that. So I'm going to start by, let's define, I'll just call it data entry. Okay, that's fine, data entry. Enter parentheses there. Okay, and right down here, let me just copy this, my data entry, and just paste it right underneath here. There we go. Now for the data entry, the first thing I want to do is to create the following variable That's we stand for connect into SQLite 3 dot connect. Okay, and what's going to be the name of my database? I can just call that data form. Okay, data form, that's fine. Let's use lowercase for that. Data form dot db. Let me make this lowercase, so data form dot db, that's going to be the name of my database. So what will happen is the system will actually create that, so close that. Now the next thing I'd like to do is to create a cursor. So I'm going to say current equals connect dot cursor. There. Now the next thing is let's ask the current system to get it executed. So execute the following. So I'm now going to ask the system to create table. If not exist. So if the table does not exist, I would like you to create a table. And what's the name of the table? The name of the table is called data form. So I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. Okay, let's open up everything so you guys can see it much better. So in here I'm going to say create an ID, right, and that's going to be integer. Make that uppercase, and that will be my primary key. Let's put a key there. Then the next thing is the names of my column. So the first column I'm going to call that ref number. Okay, that's my very first one. Ref number is going to be, the data type is text, then followed by surname, my first name. The first name is going to be text as well. Just copy that and just paste. So first name text, then surname, that's going to be text as well. Then the next one is going to be, let me put a backslash there. Okay, you have to put a backslash if you want to carry it onto the next line. So the next one is going to be address, and after the address I would add telephone number, then let's come here, that'll be registration date, then this will be proof of ID, I need 3 more. Okay, now followed by current date, and member type. And finally, let's move this so that we have enough room instead of going to the next line. And finally, member fees. Paste that here. Just enter fees there. Okay. So close that bracket and close. If you notice, I have 2 brackets, 1, 2, and that's it. That's why I've closed it in there. Take note of where I have uppercase and so on. I believe this thing is case sensitive. So I'm going to press enter. The next thing I want to do is connect dots, commute, and I also need to close. dot close. So hopefully that should create my table for me. Now the next thing I would like to address now will be just to record all of my data. So let's say method, I'm going to call that add data entry record. Yeah, add data entry record. Okay, so the data that I want to enter are all of these data, so I'm just going to copy and paste them in there. So I'll get rid of the text, copy paste, get rid of all of the text there. So delete this and so on, guys. So I'm going to just speed that up and get back to you guys. Okay, I have all of my columns in there. The only bit that I got rid of is just the data type, which is the text. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is I want to copy this and just let's copy all of those and dump it underneath here. Try that again, copy, paste, and let's get this indented properly. Right. Okay, so I would now like the system to insert into our database. So to do that, we don't need this. Let's copy this and we use SQL statement to insert some values in there. So let's say insert into the table, that's it, data form, paste that in there, data form, insert the following unknown values. So those values I will represent those with question mark. So I have 10 of those, so I'm going to say comma 1. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. Those are my question mark. Close that and let's close the speech mark. Okay. Then the next thing now is I think I'm going to need more rooms. I'm going to have to copy all of this. Okay, let's copy all of this because we will need the names of the data. So let's come in here and just say comma space backslash and just enter that in there and close that. Right, then we also need to close everything, so I'm going to copy this and just paste it right underneath here. There we go, we're getting somewhere. Right, make sure it's saved. Okay, the next thing we should be able to do is to view the data. So for that I'm going to maybe just copy. So I'm going to copy this, copy everything in there and come right down here, paste that and just call it view data. Right. In the first place, what data do we want to view? We want to view this. That is correct. So we want our current dot connect equals connect console, right? And we want to get it executed. This I'm going to have to delete all of this and use SQL statements. Let's use selection statement there, delete, and right there where we want it to get it executed, we're going to say delete. No, it's not delete, we need to select. I'm going to be taking care of delete later on. Select all from the table, this very table, copy that and paste that in here. Right, let's close that. Okay, and what else do we need to do? We now need to specify the role. Let's say roles equals current dot fetcher. we get it closed. Yeah, and we want it to return the row. Close that, and right underneath here we just say return rows. There, so that's taken care of. I can just copy that. Oh, look here, change all of this. I don't like it that way. Right, that's fine. The next one is I'm going to create one for my delete function. Paste that in there. For the delete, let's just call that delete record. Delete record. Now, inside delete rec, what do we want the system to do? Delete from here, that is fine. Okay, that's fine. And in here, that will be delete. Delete from this very database where the ID equals question mark. Say comma gets the content with this following ID. And that's all there is to the delete. So in here we want it to commence and close. There, that is that done. Okay, the other thing is I would like the end user to be able to search the database and also update the database. So what I'm going to do is I want to copy this my add data entry record, copy that and just paste that underneath here. Okay, this is a very good project for those who are actually taking their maybe dissertation and so on. So I'm going to enter in there. So let's just give it a name, call it search data. There. And what data am I searching? That I don't know. So I'm going to say search data equals there. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for every single column here. I have 12 in total. And so on. Maybe add a backspace and just press enter. We have two more. 1, 2. There. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is to get it executed, and to do that we're gonna have to use selection statements. So I'm gonna copy all of this. Let's close that. Copy all of this my selection statement, and I'll just replace it here. Select, that will be from data from. Okay, and the next thing is we need to specify the ID. So let's say where ref number, yeah, that is correct, reference number equals question mark, or where name equals question mark, and so on. Copy that and just paste that in here, and make sure we enter the or. So let's say space, backspace, press enter, and let's just enter or into all of this, comma, copy, and we're gonna get rid of this, paste, paste, yeah, and let's just pick that up. Okay, so if you notice, I have for each of the columns I have equals with question mark, okay, or, and so on. So right at the end here I'm going to enter comma, and let's enter a backspace for all of the columns. Okay, so we need to get it fetched or fetcher, right? And we'll go to the next rule as well. So I'm just going to copy these and just paste it right there. Hey, I believe that is taken care of. Let's save that. Now the last one, that is going to be my updates. Paste that in there and take it up so that you guys can see it. So I'm just going to call that update data or data update, whatever. Let's update data. Okay, that's fine. Update data. Yeah. Okay, with the update data here, I'm going to have to update with the ID that is created there, and all of these other ones is fine for each columns. And here, that's my database, the name of my database. And here you see where we have the execute, so I'm going to have to change that to update. So select that and just say update. Okay, update data form, get rid of that update data form and set the ID as, so let's come in here, update data form, set the reference as that, and get rid of this. Okay, get rid of that, and I'm going to do the same thing for the others. So instead of or, I'm just going to get rid of, enter comma there, comma and comma here, right there. And I will also end out by saying where ID equals question mark. There we go. There. I have a comma there, and I've yeah, right. Okay, so all I just need to now do is close. Let's commute and close everything. Yeah, get rid of that. And that will be all for my database. Make sure it is saved. So let's have a good look at it, because I'm now going to go into the front end and try to call this. Okay guys, I know it seems like it's a long tutorial, but it's fun. Okay, so have a good look at the lines of codes for the database. Okay, bring it down up to here again, there, and take it down finally. So let's move this up. Yeah, that is it. So that's the database taken care of. So make sure it's saved. Now let's come in here to the main program, run it. But we can't do anything now because look, existing database. Okay, you see here there's a mistake. I've actually joined that too. Let's close that. Where's my database? Let's come back in here. Right here, that's the error. So and let's save again. So I'm going to try and run it now one more time. Run. If there's no problem, the system should run. Okay, I have another error. Okay, I think there's an S missing here, so let's close that and go back there. Yeah, that's it. I think the S is in uppercase. There. Make sure it's saved. File, save, and I'm just gonna minimize that. Now let's run my system again. Yeah, that's it. It's working. The database is working. So all I just need to do now is to call the database from this very form here. That's all that is left for me to do. And let's start work on embedding the back end straight onto the front end. So I'm going to start by declaring one variable underneath here. So I'm just going to make that a global variable. So let's say global. I will call it ed enter data. That's good enough for me. And I'll then come right down here, right underneath right underneath the exits. So let's copy this. Paste that right there. Okay, the first thing I like to do is to define a method that I will use to add the data onto the system itself. So I'm going to call that add data. Enter column there. Now I have to call the name of my database, but before then I'm going to say if, let's get it len, that will be my reg number, or reference number dot get is not equals to 0. Then what I want to do is I want the database, let's get the name of my data form is called database form. Okay, copy that, and the database form is going to be here. I'm calling the form from there, indent database form dot add data entering record. The data entry record is right inside my database, the back end. Let me show it to you guys, and that is it right there. So I am calling all of these, so I might as well copy these ones. Let's copy these because I'm going to be adding them anyway. Let's copy there. I can minimize that now. So right inside our data, our database entering records, I'm going to create parentheses and then enter as follows in there. So the very first one, which is going to be my registration number, I'm going to say dot get and add parentheses. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the first name. I've copied that, just paste sole name, address, telephone. Okay, now let's just come right down here and registration date, proof of ID, current date there, and so on. And let's just move this here right there. Okay, the current date is actually called dates day. Yeah, let's change that to what it's called in there. So this one here, the others are correct. Right, now underneath here, the next thing we want to do is, let's say my list box that is called list data dot delete whatever we have in there before we add anything. Let's get it cleared and go straight to the end. And list data itself, we want it to insert dot insert, that should be lowercase, insert, and what am I inserting right at the end? I'm inserting all of this that I have in here. Copy it all up to here, copy, and let's paste it right there. There we go, and close that. And right here, this is supposed to be all. We have to close it though. There we go. So I have it closed here as well. there. So that will take care of the odd. Now the next thing I want to do now is let's take care of the display. Let's take care of the display data. I'm going to call that. Display data, and what are we displaying is right in here, so inside the LBL. So let's copy all of this, paste that there. And what else do we want? We're going to use a for loop. For, I'm going to say row in my database here. Yeah, that's it. It's called data form. Oh, where is it? Copy that again and paste it here. Data form dot view data. View data is right inside the back end there. And LBL insert. Okay, insert at the end row. Copy all of that and paste it right here. Okay, row, and that is going to be in string. I will enter nothing in there. So that takes care of my odd and display. Okay, I'm going to create another function. I'm going to call that reg record. The registration record is going to be the function that I'm going to use to add data straight onto my list box. So let's say reg rec, and reg rec is going to have an event, and let's just say let's add one global variable there. I might as well use ed as well. Yeah. Now let's ask it to search ed, and search ed is another local variable. So let's say list data dot and kill any selection enter parentheses, and the value is 0. Right, so ed itself equals whatever we have inside the list box dot get, and that is going to be search ed. There we go. Now the next thing is I need to then specify where we will get all of these records. It is going to be right here. I might as well just copy everything I have inside my reset there. Copy it all. Now we don't need the search, just this ones. Copy and come right down here and just paste. Let's get this aligned properly, and let me change it all. So that's going to be insert instead of delete. Let's insert something into it. Okay, reference dot insert, and what do we have in there is going to be end comma ed comma enter data, which I call ed, and that is going to be number 1. So the same thing will be repeated for the rest. I'm just going to copy this and just use it to populate all of this, and I'll change the numbers, the values around. I was thinking maybe I should just link them, and okay, I'll do this. just in case. Yeah, so we copy this very one. Okay, paste that in there, copy all of this, so delete whatever we have in there and there. So that is that done. So that will be number one. Number two, okay, delete what we have in there, append. Okay, that's fine. Copy the same thing for this, and I'm going to do the same thing for this, just then change the names around. Okay, see these, just trying to speed up the whole process like that, and one more here. Okay, now so this one is reference is taking care of. The next one is first name, copy, paste, and our first name will be number 2. In total I should have 10. We have surname, copy, paste, number 3, surname should be 3. Yeah, that is fine. Then telephone, paste, and that will be 4. Then we have registration date, that's 5. Proof of ID, six. Dates, that will be 7. Member type, that will be 8. That's in array number 8. And member fee 9. And finally address is 10. So that takes care of my record. That's what I'm going to use to add all of the records straight onto my list box. But before I can achieve that, I have to assign these to my list box. So copy like that. Yes, you guys can see what I've just done in there. Okay, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So copy this right away, and let's go straight to where I have my list box before I forget that. Come right down, list box. Yeah, that's my list box right there. Enter a comma where we have a list box, lst data dot bind. There we go. So I'll bind that straight onto that. Okay, let's go back in here. Now the next thing I want to do is let's take care of the delete. So as for the delete, I'm going to create another method in there. So let's call that delete data, parentheses. So with the delete, we're going to use if statement as well. Let's say if lane equals, let's copy that here. Okay, I'm going to copy all of these. Yeah, okay, just from here up to here, let's copy those and paste that in here. Right, let's position it properly. Okay, now if lane equals reference number dot get and it's not equals to 0, then the data dot, this will be delete rec. So I have a delete record on my. Okay, on the back end I have a delete record, so that's fine. So now let's say enter data, which is the global variable deliver or that I declared out there. Now I might as well get reset. Let's reset once it's deleted, and we just say display whatever we have in there left. There we go. So I've called reset and I also call my display. I have my display right here. So this is called and reset is called as well. And that takes care of the delete. Now let's take care of the search function. After the search function, we'll just take care of the update, and that'll be all. Let's say search. No. Search data. Search database, and that will be, let's say L. That's who is session. Okay. Inside here, okay, copy all of these and this as well. So copy that. Come right down. Paste. Continue. Search data. And let's delete whatever we have and enroll in database. Okay, let's say dot search data. I'm gonna copy that. Search data, I have that on my back end. Search data, yeah, that's correct, equals the following. Let's grab all of these in here. Everything we have in here, I'm gonna grab that up to here, and I will include that in here. Right here, paste. Okay, that saves me some time, and we get rid of the extra column because we only have one, so that's fine. That is for the search data. Okay, maybe we should move this, cut that off, and just bring it here. Now let's take care of update. So we update. I'm going to copy this. Now come right down here and paste, and let's change this to update. Okay, then in there we need the name of the database. Grab the database, paste that underneath here, and that is going to be delete record, or rec as I called it. Open a bracket, enter data, square brackets, 0 0, and close that very bracket. There we go. Now let's use an if statement to get it clean. Copy all of these, paste that there, and if it's not 0, we now want our database itself, which is this. So I can copy all of this anyway because I'm going to need it. Copy that. Our database, yeah, needs to be indented, that's fine. Our database dots add data. It's called add data entering record. I call that rec. Add data entering rec. And what am I adding? Every single data that I have in here. Now I need to delete whatever I have inside the list box. paste that in there. And if I delete what I have in there, I also need to insert whatever is being used to update the system. So we need to insert. So copy all of these, come right down here and paste that here, and that should take care of the insert. So I deleted whatever record we have and insert the new record, and that is it. Yeah, I think that should do it. Okay, let's maybe, yeah, just leave it like that. Get rid of this. I only have 1, 2, or 1, 2. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to now try out our system. Right, let me just show you guys the whole code. So from here, everything we have on this line, that's what I'm going to use inside this commented line. That's what I'm going to use to get the data straight onto the front end. This is the front end. Let's save that. So have a good look at it. I'm going to take it up. Yep. And that's it. That's from where I added all my lines of code that brings in the database. So it's decision time now, just to try it out and see how that's going to look like. But before I do that, the name of my database is called data form. Okay, so let's make sure that is saved as well. And in here, as you can see, let me show you my folder here. That's my folder. There is nothing in there. This is the front end and this is the back end. Database form and database a data entry form. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of like collapse it so that you guys can see it. So if I come in here, let's push this one aside and I'm gonna run it and you see what's gonna happen. So let's click and run. So hopefully there's no error. A database should be generated here. So let's run it and see. Run. And let's move this aside. Look at that. That's my database created for me. Okay, so that's fine. Now, inside that very database, there's nothing in there. Let's start adding our data in there. So the first thing is I'm going to enter my name in there, Paul Owen. An address I live in, number 1, God's Town Road. Telephone number, don't call that number. And let's take up those 6s. I don't like 6s. Right, yeah, that's much better. And proof of ID, I'm a pilot. Okay, in here, member type, I'm an annual member. Fees, that means I'm going to be paying 150. That's just for search. And the next thing is click on add. Oh, it's not working. Oh, it should be working. No, it's not working. Display, nothing. Okay, let's see if there's any error. Do we have any error? No, we don't. Then why is it? Hey, display. Okay, let's add some data in there again. Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis, the student. There and there. Odd. Okay. Oh, it's not going to work, guys. Yeah, it's not going to work. You know why? Because I haven't connected all of this straight onto my buttons. So grab that. Okay, come right down here, add new. So this is going to be command equals that, comma. The next one is display. I can't remember the name of the display, so I'm just going to copy all of this and paste it in the FS. I'll be back to that. There. So the next one, display, is called what? It's called display data. There, copy that. Scroll right down. Display data. Right here. Okay, updates. I think updates is lowercase updates. So paste that in here. U update. Now delete. I think is either delete data. Yeah, delete data. Okay. Let me the search. Yeah, I'm gonna need that as well. So this is uppercase, uppercase. So let's come right down. That is delete. And search. And delete is going, that's delete data. There we go. Reset. I think everything is there now. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, those are the commands that I will use to activate those functions or those methods. So now run. I think those two data that I've already added, let's see, will I be, no, I cannot retrieve them because this was not doing anything. Okay, let's start again. Enter my name and address number 1, Gostown Road, London. Okay, telephone number, get rid of that. Right. And proof of ID, pilot, member type, annual, and we have there. Decision time. Click on add new. Oh yeah, it's working, guys. Look at that. That's good. I've clicked on it twice, so with this will be 3. So let's click on display. Look at that, guys. Well, guess what? Yeah, but you guys should be able to take care of that. Just add a tab there so that you move the data to the edge of the list box. That is fine. So let's say reset and enter another candidate. Let's say Tony. That's my favorite name, Tony Montana. There, Tony Montana, and address of Montana 43. Let's say Johnson Major Road, and telephone number. That's Montana's number. Okay, he is a driver. Okay, he has a driving license, annual member, paying that much. Click on add, display everything about Montana and Paul. Okay, the next one, let's add another person, reset, and let's assume this one is a lady. Let's say Sally McQueen. Yeah. And Miss McQueen lives in number 19. Let's just say Daly's Way. Let's say Daly's Way, London. MM. There, that's the postcode. Telephone number. Quarter. Yep. And she's a student. Add, display Miss McQueen. You see that, guys? And that's it. That's how you develop your own data entry. Let's research this. Data entry form using Python and remove. And remove lives here, and that is Pinsmore Road. Oh, close. Pinsmore close. And add display. Alright guys, so with that I'm just gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now. I know this is a very long tutorial, but it's worth it for those of you guys who are going through your project and so on. You can always modify it. Have a nice day now, and thanks for watching, and please do subscribe, or you can always join to become a member of my channel. Bye.